So I kept hearing all week about this Michael B. Jordan and this interview he had on the red carpet with a former classmate of his who he called out right there. You know, she's a reporter now, and he called her out because back in the day, she had said he was a corny. And look at where he's at now. You know, one of the top Hollywood stars, a sex symbol. You know, what else? You know, he's a producer. And so, you know, he basically brought that up. You know, corny, right?
So, show we got Michael B. Jordan, the director and the star of Creed 3. And, you know, we know each other. We go way back all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay?
Oh, the corny kid, right?
No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure. No, you did not hear me say. I said we used to make fun of the name, but yeah, he is obviously killing things out here. How is the difference between you actually directing and working with the same people that you were directed with versus?
It was awesome. You know, it's a family vibe.
Yeah.
Last nine years of my life, I spent on the Creed films. They're very supportive. You know, Tessa, Felicia, Rashad, Wood Harris, people that see me grow up. And for the fact that I stepped behind the camera and finally got a chance to direct them, they loved it, they embraced it, and it was a wonderful experience.
And was it difficult for you mentally because you're coming out of a different space?
I didn't know he was doing the athletic gear. I mean, I was staying in it. This is about show. This ain't about me.
Isn't this the sexiest man
right
show off right here? Who's the sexiest man? Because now
kind of
who's
question
the
is that?
sexiest man? Because I thought you said you're on the way up. He might be the one right now.
This is the one. This is the one right here. Yeah. See
So is it a tie?
Ain't no tie. We don't compete. Yeah, we don't compete.
Two number ones.
Technically,
Batman and Batman. Or should I? Oh, no, can't say that.
Superman and Superman.
Superman and Superman, sorry.
Good luck with that.
Love you, bro.
Okay, so you also are going to do a new film with Will Smith very soon coming up. Is the rumor out there?
Not sure. We're still working on the script. You know, that's something that I plan on doing in the future. Not sure when. You know, with these movies, I'm just trying to get through this project.
Right,
So when I get finished with this one, then I'll figure out what's going on next.
And how is it filming in Atlanta?
It was amazing. I've done 4 or 5 films down here, shot a couple television shows, so Atlanta's a second home to me, and I love coming down here to shoot.
Favorite restaurant here?
Oh, man. Whatever hotel I'm in, their restaurant.
Well, you're not corny anymore.
That's what y'all said in high school. Or at least that's what I thought the story was. Because, I mean, I hadn't looked into the story. I didn't care much about it. I look at paying attention to a lot of other different things. But I decided to just take a look and see what they're talking about and look at the actual interview because I saw people repeatedly talking about it. And I saw something a lot more disturbing. So for the proper context behind that interaction, I believe the host's name is L'Oreal, something like that. Yeah, she went to school with him back in the day. But she's not the one that called him corny. She's not the one, and that's not what, back in the day, wasn't what he was referring to. Now, she did say on the carpet that she didn't say that. They used to poke fun at his name, Michael Jordan, which, I mean, you can definitely see that. Hell, Michael B. Jordan's even poked fun at it. You saw his, which was a hilarious scene in that Space Jam 2 movie. But the girl, L'Oreal, has a podcast with that Eva chick. I forget her last name. She used to be on America's Top Model. I don't know what she's does or anything like that. I haven't followed her career to really know. But I do remember her from that. I remember her name was Eva. Now, come to find out, the Eva chick, I think her last name's like Pigford or something. But she's the one that said he was corny. Now, it's just basically describing him, And she wasn't saying it in a mean way, but that was her description. And he represents the corny guy. And so, Michael B. Jordan got the other girl confused for her. So this is all recent. This is recent when he heard this. And I guess the word got back, he either heard it or whatnot, or word got back to him, and yeah, there you got that interaction. Now my question is, what makes Michael B. Jordan corny? Why? Because he's not running around, I don't know, man. Like, what? He ain't running around using slang and what? He ain't acting like a thug or some shit. Like, he ain't got dreads. What is it, man? What makes him corny? Some cats you could apply it to. Like, hell, you say Russell Wilson, a lot of people agree. Like, yeah, the dude's corny. I mean, shit, have you seen his Subway commercials? And all the Broncos Let's Ride and all of that stuff. And yeah, I think one of his commercials got pulled. They pulled the ad because it was so damn corny, bro. So, I mean, it can apply to him. It's not because, he ain't acting like a thug. He's got a corny demeanor to him. But what about Michael B. Jordan? What has he done to earn that title? What do men gotta do to not get that title? See, and this is the type of shit that sends a lot of boys down the wrong path. Because, I mean, we all have a responsibility, and, the individual goes over the collective, and there's a personal responsibility, but a child's mind is shit. It's easy to leave an impression. They're impressionable minds. And so not only the things they see from the adults, the things they see from media, but their surroundings also, which means there's a responsibility that we all got to play, and it's meaning as parents dealing with our children. So then when our children are going out into the world, we're spreading the right type of energy. Because this is the type of shit that sends a lot of the boys down the wrong path. Do you see why there's so many, and it's not to say that there's not boys that are rising up, but do you see that why there's so many girls who are going through being successful and going through college and shit like that, and you see a lot of boys dropping out, probably at a higher rate. That's not to say that there's not a lot of black boys that aren't being successful. Shit, there's a lot of black people who are rising above the narratives and doing what needs to be done. But we do see that at a higher rate, boys are more likely to go off track. Why is that? Is it because of titles like this? Because they're trying to go out of their way as a youth to not be corny? Because they're always gonna be try to put on for the females. You're gonna try to, a lot of them more than likely than not, you're gonna put on the character that a lot of them like. You're gonna try to attract them, right? And if the females, because we know that a lot of females, a lot of women, they really soak in media. The stuff as a consumer, the number one consumer who you always target, these corporations always target, they target women. They always target women because they will more likely than men consume the product. When it comes to, the societal and standards and socialite and stuff like that. So if they're consuming that and it, it's being fed to their daughters and stuff like that, what you see, what are their daughters gonna like? What their daughters think, what attracts them. And so, in turn, hell, these are the form that the boys take. I'm not saying that's all it is, but it's something. There's validity to that. There's a lot of validity to that. And here you got Eva Pickford. I think her last name is Pickford. But no, she's an older woman, because that shit came out that was like in the early 2000s when that show came out. So she's an older woman. She should know fucking better. But she still has, there's something, I'm not saying she's a bad person or she meant any harm by saying it, but there's still something within that mindset. Why would you think, what has he done? Maybe it's something I'm missing, but what has the dude done to be labeled as fucking corny? We got too many black men who are going, even when they're getting their lives together, they're going through the ringer, man. They're sitting up there, they gotta build their lives. They motherfuckers, you know how many people I know, man, doing time, man, done time, survived getting shot because they went out there and they, you know what I'm saying? They took another path. And a lot of us didn't have to. A lot of us didn't have to. But we know that shit is what gets the women. Whether motherfuckers want to believe that shit or not. Women love that bad boy. But what makes him corny? Even back in school, there was a lot of dudes, not always because of dudes into his books and shit like that. Some cornball dudes, like cats had swag, man. You know what I'm saying? And they was getting girls and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So what makes Michael B. Jordan corny, man? Putting too much burden on the males, man. Women don't get that type of burden. At least from when it comes from the opposite side. There's pressures that women have to deal with when dealing with each other. But as far as, just from the opposite sex, not to the extent, I'll say not to the extent of where women, a lot of women do it with men. It's, they don't have that same burden of trying to be cool and not being corny and shit like that. A lot of times, 9 times out of 10, women be damn corny. They're cheesy. You know, there was a lot of women in her life, man. And, you know what I'm saying, no matter how cool they think they are, they have an extremely cheesy side to them. Whoever get drunk or high, some shit like that, and start acting corny and cheesy. Men ain't worried about that. We ain't even thinking corny or cheesy. We think, oh, she being goofy. A lot of women are goofy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them have goofy conversations on the phone with other women and stuff like that. You know, it's all this corny stuff. What are we talking about? We got to kill this shit, man. The dude's a successful dude. The dude's got style, man. Women love him. Shit, man. Like I said, if you was talking about somebody like Russell Wilson, you could apply it, but please enlighten me. What has this dude done to gain that fucking label? What has he done to gain that label? We trying to raise men up and get them out of these ridiculous ass mind states that a lot of young black men are trapped in. That even myself, I fell victim to in the past. And so, no, it's all right to not be a thug. It ain't, fuck all that shit talking about square, because even when you talking about square and all of that stuff, it still comes across as a slight. Nah, man, just be a normal human being. Be a good human being. That's who you can be, who you want to be. Even if people think you corny, be yourself, man, and love what you do. Man, if you got a hobby, man, don't be afraid to show that off. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? If it's not something that's widely accepted, if you like a particular cartoon or video game, man, be yourself, man. But don't go down no path, man. It's corny to be going down a path that'll destroy your life, man. And you've seen over and over again, it's destroyed lives over and over and over again. People are throwing their lives away. And we've gotten the blueprint. We know what it's going to lead to. But you got motherfuckers that continue to go down the same road and then want to blame it on everything else. That's corny. That's fucking corny. And, you know, as time goes on, the rest of us, man, we get a little bit more numb to the shit. You know, you still want to stop. You want to help people rise up or whatnot. But, you know, that whole narrative and the excuses, shit's got to stop at some point. Because it's got to stop, and we've got to make progress or it's just going to be saying the same shit. It's going to be another 50 years down the line, and it's going to be the same shit, the same excuses. And ain't nothing going to change. It's the grit culture. I'll holler at y'all later.